Jumping right into the first game, as you can see, black-red, green-red. He played a Keeper of the Lens, which threw me a little bit because I've never seen anyone intentionally pick that card and certainly not play it. Went in with a Dragon Fodder on turn 2, give me some goblins. And you can see there, Guardian Shieldbearer and Stormwind Dragon in hand. Just about to play the bearer for a morph and pass the turn. Quite happy to throw those goblins in chump blocking, and anything that's actually important comes into play. Having a look ahead, trying to plan my next ones. Obviously getting ready to come in as a morph if I draw nothing impressive. Kept quite a land heavy hand, but running just 17 lands in the deck in total, by having 6 early lands, I know the majority is going to be, there's 20 cards in there that aren't lands now. It is my preferred method to draw out a lot of land if I can. I don't like going late game and start top decking land. Certainly not in a draft format where it's so hard to get those draw effects in. So here he goes with a hasted Alicia's Vanguard. Starting to think that this is what I would have normally drafted, a dash deck itself. He's swinging in with the 3/3, and as I said, I'm quite happy to throw a goblin in front of that, rather lose a 1/1 goblin that I'm probably going to be sacrificing at some point anyway to prevent that, make him pay that dash cost all over again. Quite happy to see Sarkhan's Triumph coming in. Going to let me go and fetch out a dragon if I need to. I hesitate for a while. Obviously no real reason to do that right away. I felt like I've got the board presence. What I should have done here is attacked with the goblin, seeing if I could have baited out that block from the Keeper of the Lens. Completely forgot. My fault. I could have flipped for the Megamorph cost, dropped the token on the goblin, and taken out the Keeper of the Lens. First game, I was shaky. Wasn't really confident on how the deck played. This was my learning experience for this deck. Kept the mana open, thinking to go look for a dragon in his turn. Realised that the UI had been mistagged, and I wasn't responding in the second main phase. So he hardcast his Alesha Vanguard and swung with the Keeper of the Lens, quite willing to take the 1 point of damage for that. Let him go to turn. Unfortunately, at that point, I'd actually forgotten to go and use Sarkhan's Triumph. Frustrating, but this happens. It happens to all of us. Frustration got the better of me and played this in main phase 1, where I probably shouldn't have. Certainly could have tried to bait out something again with the morph if I'd paid the Megamorph cost, traded out the Vanguard that he'd hardcast. But I'd been put on the back foot. I'd missed that Sarkhan's Triumph. At this point, I realise declare no attackers and pass the turn. A couple of deep breaths, good old cup of tea on the go, try and get myself back in the zone. Of course, at this point, I've lost a bit of pacing. I feel like I'm on the back foot despite the better board presence, which is not a good place to be mentally going into these drafts. Sometimes you can be your own worst enemy. If you feel like you're on the back foot, you play that way. He takes a while to decide his play here. Not the worst decision to take the time over it, but I'm always very conscious in Magic Online drafts with that 25-minute shot clock. It gets away from you real fast, and no one likes timing out. So for a play like a hardcast Vanguard, I'm not sure I would have taken so long to do it. At this point, I figure I'll take the 3. I'm thinking about taking the 3 at least. And take the 3. Declare no blockers. And still not enough mana up for that Triumph. See a Frontier Mastodon pop up. Really sort of frustrated now. Got plenty of mana. And at this point, obviously, you can see I've got 5 on the board, 2 in hand. I am seriously thinking about going to get my Ataka. Remember this time to try and bait out something. Trying to reset this board state. He's got 7 damage on the table. I know what's under here. He knows what's under there because of that annoying Keeper of the Lens. So I know I'm not going to get a miss block here. But at the same time, knowing what's coming in doesn't mean he can do anything about it with 1 mana open. I'd like to have seen him block differently. But it's not the worst in the world. Just double checking that I can't afford the Megamorph cost. And again, despite that time ticking away, what you don't want to do is you don't want to rush and be too fast. Quite happy to do this. That's kind of what I was hoping for. Not that you could, we could do anything about it, but it's a trade for the Vanguard. Puts a token on my other dragon, making it a 3/3. And even bigger should I get to morph it. And it goes to his turn. Really frustrated by this Keeper of the Lens now. It's certainly not something I was prepared for running any deck. I literally don't think I've ever seen anyone play that card. I've seen basic lands get picked before that card. So we've got the Warbringer. So at this point, I am fairly, very, very certain that what I'm facing is the deck I would have drawn had I played this myself. It's the dash deck that I quite like. It's fast, it's aggressive, it's aggro. Facing down 7 damage across the table now, really frustrating. Given that missed Sarkhan's Triumph. No, I'm really on the back foot. So I throw a Goblin in front of it. I'd rather not take 7 if I could help it. Especially since I know he's going to be able to cast that dash again for a nice cheap cost. I'm not looking at any removal in hand. And play the land. And look at the Mastodon. No, I'm not going to hit the trigger. Could I have played the Megamorph cost, flipped it over and been that much bigger? Probably. It would be putting a lot of eggs in one basket if you had any removal for that creature once it's flipped. An ultimate price is not impossible. Real vulnerable position, or from my perspective anyway. So you can see what I went through. Main phase, pass the turn, no attackers. And what my intent is here is to probably, if he does bring in that dash, just remove him from the table. It's all well and good dash being cheaper to play, but if he loses them, you can't play them. So, pass the turn here. Oh, waiting for his turn actually. And real nervous. 7 damage. Anything dash is going to be a pain. And I see a Summit Prowler. And so now I know I am on the back foot for a board presence. We're going to see a Vanguard coming in for the stupidly cheap cost of 1 black. Really horrendous combo there. No, I'm about to take the same sort of thing again. Desperately hoping he'll swing with that Warbringer, but no, it's not going to happen. At this point, I've got to remove him. So thinking ahead, I'll trade out both. This time I do remember to cast my Sarkhan's Triumph. And I get to go look and to go grab me a Tarka. And again, we're playing a game with no secrets. He's looking under my creatures, so I don't really mind showing him. So pop out the Ataka. real hindsight's a lovely thing in this. So I think I don't want to get hit with any more dashed creatures. So I dropped the Warbringer and the Keeper. Used the Tarka's ability to drop the 2 creatures, and this is immediately where it all goes so horribly wrong. Past the turn, thinking, yep, I've got a nice big presence. I've got a Summit Prowler, which I'll eat for days, with my lovely big dragon. And there's hesitation from the other side. I know something's coming. I can't think what. And this is where my world crumbles. I lose Calm, steals my Ataka, untaps it, haste,